People feel that my mistakes are getting lot of criticism. So they'll start playing small, they'll start playing safe. They will not play big and they'll not take risk.
Theoretically, we all know that recognition is important, appreciation is important, petting the people is important, giving them the importance is important.
And when I completed 25 years, the company gave me a Rolex watch which cost 25 lakhs. And then he started the practice of writing handwritten notes to the employees who were doing great job. And he himself once wrote on the X platform that in 10 years, he wrote 30,000 letters by his hand.
Hi, friends. My name is Bhavya Mangla, and I'm again back on the 53rd episode of Unfiltered Conversation. We started this series with the objective of calling the people who are doing immensely good in their own field and industry and to understand that what we can learn from them. In today's world, if we look around ourselves, one of the biggest challenge that majority of the big companies are facing is that in spite of having very good salary, very good infrastructure, everything looks to be excellent, but still people keep on leaving the company. Now it's a mystery which everyone wants to solve, but no one understands that why it is happening. In spite of good package, in spite of all the best infrastructure what they are getting it, still people keep on living it. Now, this is a question which is intriguing not only to me, but I think to everyone who's listening to the podcast. Now, what are the possible reasons that why does it happen, and what can be done with respect to that? Now, to talk more about it, we have an excellent guest with us. His name is Mukesh Kulothia. He did his MBA from IIM Lucknow, and after working for 9 years in IBM, he started his own company, Muskrado.com, which is dealing with trophies. He has also written a book, Moving Mountains, One Story at a Time. Now, he is considered to be an expert in this particular field, that how he can make people comfortable and how he can make sure that whomsoever is working with him directly or indirectly always remain with him for a long, long time. Let's understand more from him. Hi, Mukesh. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Bhavya. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's great to be with you.
So, Mukesh, in general, as I just said about the recognition part, that people are leaving the companies. In fact, many times it is being said that people join the companies, but they leave their bosses.
Yeah.
And nobody finds a real reason that why it is happening. And if you see the LinkedIn, wherein so many people are resigning and then putting up their post that I'm open to this new job, sometimes people are also showing their frustration also that why they are leaving the job. You can find a lot of gyan which is there, that what should be a good leader, what should be a good company. What are your thoughts about this?
Brilliant perspective and brilliant question. Thank you so much for asking at the very beginning that people join the companies but leave the bosses. Now, that used to be the truth a couple of years ago. Now, there is another element in it. People join the company and leave not only the bosses but also their colleagues, and they also leave the culture. So, the point is, when I come to the office, how do I feel? How do I get treated by my own subordinates, my own bosses, and overall staff in the company? If the treatment is good, I feel like coming back to the place again and again and again every single day. And I heard that in the Western countries, maximum people get heart attacks on Monday morning because they're going to the workplaces which they hate to go to, and that's the reason their heart doesn't want to go, but their body is kind of forced to go to that workplace. So if we can make their heart actually feel good at that workplace about the work and workplace, then of course the culture is considered to be good. And if the culture is great, then people would give their 100% and they will stay there as much as they can. And that's where the loyalty comes in, and that's where the retention comes in. If we do not work on the culture, in that case we'll keep struggling and juggling between incentives and bonus, fat salary, and retention of the people, maybe calling them back and hiring, training, and that game just goes on and on. That's a vicious cycle. So the key word here is culture of the company. We need to work on that.
So, do you mean to say that if someone is getting high salary, very good
Mhm.
arrangement in the office, world class office,
Mhm.
everything is good, that is not good enough for a person to remain motivated and work there for a long time?
Not today. In today's world, people want respect more than ever. Earlier, there used to be people who used to work in a company for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, but now, if they feel that they are not getting respected, they can quit the job without having any option B or option C. So they want to work at a place where they feel respected and their work matters. See, everybody wants to feel noticed, everybody wants to feel seen and visible. People actually hate invisibility. Wherever they are unseen, unnoticed, become invisible, and they are treated like ghosts. They feel that I don't matter at this particular place, they won't stay. And I'm sure you might have read this Maslow's hierarchy of
Hmm.
needs. So,
Yep.
in that hierarchy, the need one and two can retain people for money. You can fulfill need one and two. Need one is basically physiological needs. Now, need two is safety needs. These needs people can work uh, for the company for money. However, whenever people move to level three and four in that Maslow's hierarchy, as soon as they move there, they actually need to receive a better treatment in terms of respect, recognition, and appreciation for their daily work. I always say that the culture is revealed by what the leaders notice and appreciate every single day instead of the annual celebrations which happen in the company. Annual celebrations most of the times do not have any resemblance with the everyday culture of the company, but the everyday culture is the real test of culture of a company, and people want to work at a place where they are treated with respect every single day.
I think what you're saying is true. But then, what about the IT companies, especially post COVID, when people are working from home, and there are still many companies where the people are going to office maybe once in a month or once in a quarter. They may have joined the company online and they quit online, so they're never getting opportunity even to even meet their colleagues, their peers, their bosses, and all that. So I think, don't you think it's even a more grim situation there where people are not even meeting there?
It is extremely difficult situation, very difficult situation. You can make people seen, you can make people feel noticed and visible when they come to the office every single day, but when they join online and they quit online, they work from home forever, they never go to the office. In that case, it's difficult that how do you make them visible, how do you make them feel that they matter for the company? It is really tricky, but not impossible. There are people who are making it happen. For example, I met with a leader in Jaipur a couple of weeks ago, and he told me that he has teams across India, across all the major cities. But whenever he goes to those cities, for example, he's going to Bhopal, he will call the people from nearby Bhopal areas for a lunch together. They do a handshake with each other, they feel the vibes with each other, they talk to each other, and they try to make a connection. Now whenever he is coming to Delhi, he will call the people from Noida, Delhi, and Gurgaon, and he will have a lunch together with him. Now this kind of bonding truly makes a difference in today's world where people are not seen. That's one way. Second thing is, see, text is becoming more and more transactional. People do not value text much, especially after COVID times. Now the videos are much more valuable because in video people can really see you, they can listen to you, they can feel the kind of enthusiasm and kind of feelings you have for the next person. So I suggest that people should make videos on maybe their birthday or maybe when the employees do a good job. So make a small video of 10 seconds, 15 seconds and send a clip to the person. He will maybe put as his status on WhatsApp. He'll also put that on LinkedIn and he'll feel seen and he'll start developing a belonging to the place. And the world also sees that this particular person works at this particular company. So the belonging grows. So these are a couple of ways through which you can improve the belonging in remote work situations. And if I go back, when I joined IBM, I was given a book as a gift, and the title of the book was "Who Says Elephants Can't Dance." It is written by the amazing CEO of IBM, who used to be CEO of this great company from 1991 to 2001. In fact, in 1991, after 80 years of existence, the company didn't do well, and the experts started predicting death of the company. They said the company will not exist next year. But as we all know, the company is doing fantastically well even today, standing steady, tall, and growing very well. So I worked with the company for 9 years and I loved every single day at that great company.
Hmm.
Now, CEO of that company, the transformation CEO, Lou Krishner, he says that culture is everything. What I have learned at IBM is culture is everything. And how do you impact the culture? He has a world record on his name of traveling maximum through his private plane. He
Okay.
went from one city to the next, to the next, to the next. He went there, gave a pat on the back to the people who are doing really good, and tried to make a connection, ask the regions to the people who are not doing good. And by building these connections, by coming closer to the people, by understanding their concerns, by appreciating, encouraging, he could actually transform such a big company. And then he wrote the book called Who Says Elephants Can't Dance? Because IBM was huge in size and
Hmm.
was kind of considered as the elephant of the industry. And
Hmm.
he actually made it dance. So, in remote situations, this becomes even more important. And we need to be creative, we need to be innovative, we need to find out various ways of making a connection with the employee. Maybe we can go to different cities and call the people from nearby areas to that city for a lunch. Maybe we can make a video and send, appreciating that particular person's contribution, or maybe you can find out more digital ways to connect with those people, but connection is the need of the hour. And we value feedback a lot. Ken Blanchard said that feedback is
Hmm.
the breakfast of champions. But I'll tell you, feedback doesn't work if you do not have a connection with the person, because feedback means you are correcting somebody. And the correction only happens when you have a connection with the person. If you do not have a connection, correction will not work. So I always say that connection before correction is the right way to go for the correction. And
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
setup, making a connection becomes even more important. It is definitely challenging, as you said, but it is critical, and we need to make it happen. We need to build connections.
So he talked about petting people, telling them, giving them the confidence, making them feel special. But two questions are coming to mind in this stage. First thing is that don't you think when too much of appreciation is being given, then the employees start feeling a bit complacent. They know that yes, I'm doing good and I don't need to improve, and whatever I'm doing is enough. And the second part too is, don't you think that when the employer or the boss becomes too much close, then maybe the employees start feeling that now I deserve more salary, better incentive, better bonus, and all those things start happening.
Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things. One is, of course, everybody's uh, is a human being, or I say that we are emotional beings with humanity. I don't call that we are human beings with emotions. We are emotional beings with humanity. So we have needs which are emotional needs. We have needs which are social needs. We have needs which are economical or financial needs. So when I work for a company, then of course I get paid. That's the main reason. Nobody will work with uh, any company without money. I get paid, but that meets my economical needs or financial needs. What about my emotional needs and social needs? Everybody wants to matter, everybody wants to make a difference in the society. And that's how we have examples of lot of successful people working for free for their companies. And that's how
Mm.
a lot of people in organizations like Toastmasters, they give valuable time from their prime years. They dedicate 2 3 hours a day, maybe 8 10 12 15 hours a week to Toastmasters, because they want to make a difference, they want to serve the society. So this deep desire, where we want to make a difference in the society, we want to feel special, make others feel special, we want to feel appreciated. This is separate desire, you cannot really mix it with money. We need to treat these individually. We need to make people feel special. Of course, we need to appreciate their good work. If their good work is appreciated, that will grow. There is a saying that wherever the attention goes, it grows. So if
Yep.
the attention goes on the good work grows. Whereas on the other hand, there are companies where the attention is more on the weaknesses or the poor performance. So you discuss poor performance again and again and again. You kind of over discuss the mistakes. The entire focus is on mistakes. And once you shift the focus on mistakes, believe me, the mistakes will not reduce. Mistakes will grow. Because what happens, people feel that my mistakes are getting lot of criticism, so they'll start playing small, they'll start playing safe, they will not play big, and they'll not take risk. And when the people do not play big, they do not take risk, then of course they cannot do big things. They will just do the minimum possible required criteria in their job to get paid for the month. And what do you think? Where people do the minimum possible requirement, they meet the minimum possible requirement of the job to get the salary. Will the company grow in leaps and bounds?
Hmm.
Of course not. Of course
Yep.
not. The company grows when the people take risk. And people take risk when they are not scolded for mistakes, but appreciated for the effort. Of course, at times efforts will not generate results, but the efforts also must be appreciated, because the efforts are taken, then result will be generated. Maybe not every time, but maybe most of the times. Every time we learn from mistakes, or we also learn from the success. So the idea here is we need to appreciate the good work which is done by the people every single day. Wherever attention goes, the area grows. Another saying is, whatever gets rewarded gets repeated. So it's
Mhm.
up to the leaders, the founders, the CXOs, and the maybe managers. It's up to them that what do they want to grow. If they want to grow the mistakes, then of course you need to focus on mistakes and just scold employees as much as you can. Yeah, if they want to grow the good work, then they need to spot people doing good work and appreciate, give a pat on the back at that time. And trust me, when their emotional needs are fulfilled, when their social needs are fulfilled, their expectation for salary hike becomes less, not more. It's very paradoxical, I know, but becomes less, because there are a lot of points through which they can talk to their family members, they can friend, their circle, about the company and the bonding with the company. If I get rewarded, if I get recognized, I'll show that to people, and that becomes my differentiating factor. If I do not get rewarded enough, then my only differentiating factor is what? Salary. I'll keep comparing myself in terms of salary. How much do I get? How much Bhavya gets? How much do I get? How much Bhavya gets? That's the
Hmm.
only comparison. And when the comparison with salary happens, it's a very deadly thing. You will agree with that. But if you associate with the company, you feel that you belong to the company in many more ways other than salary, then you feel happy every single day, not only on the last day of the month or the seventh of the next month when you get the salary. Not only on the one day when you get bonus or incentive, but you feel almost every single day you feel happy. So I feel that these are altogether different things. Appreciation has its own role to play. Recognition has its own role to play. And of course, salary is crucial. If I give you another example, it's like
Yep.
it may be having
Hmm.
this plant. What do you think that is needed to keep it healthy, happy, green, glowing, blooming?
Water, sunlight, care.
Yeah, soil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
soil.
What if I say that it doesn't need sunlight, it doesn't need soil, it needs only water? Let's water it, and maybe water it more and then a little more and more. What do you think? How will the plant perform?
No, it will not.
It will die. So
Yep.
I can water the plant every single day and still kill it. And salary is nothing but water in the corporate context.
Hmm.
So if you cannot keep the flower or the plant growing happy and vibrant, blooming only with water, you cannot keep the people only with salary. They need soil, and soil is nothing but the corporate culture. So if you want to make the corporate culture better, then of course you need to take care of the nutritions, the nutrients in the soil. And from the perspective of the plant, there are three types of nutrients: the primary, secondary, and the energy nutrients. Three, and some eight more nutrients. But if you talk about the corporate setup, in corporate setup, what are the nutrients? Appreciation is nutrient,
Yep.
recognition is nutrient, gratitude is nutrient, Feeling happy and smiling when we are each other is nutrient, right? So these joy is nutrient. So these nutritions or nutrients truly make a difference in the culture of any company. If you make the soil full of nutrients, then the uh, plants or the employees in that example will of course do very well. They will grow themselves and they'll help the company grow. That's my response to your question.
Now, Mukesh, what you're saying is very true. And I
Hmm.
think whatever you're saying is quite logical, and everyone understands this particular perspective. And if you talk to any CEO, any top management, any employer, anyone who is at the senior level, they all know about all these things. But if
Hmm.
you see the real scenario,
Hmm.
sometimes these things are happening, but many times these things are not happening. Theoretically, we all know that recognition is important, appreciation is important, patting the people is important, giving them the importance is important. But in real life, the
Hmm.
pressure is so much,
Hmm.
the workload is so much that generally it is not happening. Like, say, for example, on Monday morning, nobody
Hmm.
asks anything, how was the weekend? How was the family? And anything? Just we start with the work, and the same thing continue till Friday evening. So the pressures are too much. And
Hmm.
even though companies know that appreciation, recognition is important, but in reality, it is not
Hmm.
happening. Why people are not able to give importance to it when everyone knows about it?
See, there is a matrix which is 2 by 2 matrix, and I'm sure you must have read that. It's urgency and importance
Hmm.
matrix. There are things which are urgent and
Yeah.
important, which are urgent but not important. There are things which are important but not urgent, not important, not urgent, right?
Yeah.
So, recognition and appreciation are extremely important but not urgent. And we human beings, we tend to give more time and energy to pressing needs, to urgencies. So we
Hmm.
respond to urgencies, we do not respond to important things. But you can think about great lives who have truly blessed the planet ever in the past. You can think about big companies who are innovating and making the world a better place. There in that companies or maybe in those lives, people paid attention to important things which were not urgent. So appreciation and recognition are important but not urgent, and that is why many companies, or rather most companies, are not paying attention to it. But the companies which are paying attention to it, they are not only building presses and profits, they are building precious cultures where people want to stay as long as they can, maybe for lifetime. I'll tell you, I met with a person around a month ago from an American company. It's a
Hmm.
family-owned company. It is a 140 years old company. Fourth generation is running that company now. And he told me that, sir, I completed 30 years with the company. And when I completed 25 years, the company gave me a Rolex watch which cost 25 lakhs.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah. Now, from perspective of many people, it may be huge cost, but the person has given his 30 years to the company. And he told me that after 20 years, nobody quits because every single time they enter into the office, they start visualizing receiving that Rolex watch. And when they're 25 years and they receive it, in gratitude, they'll stay for 5 to 10 more years because they feel that we have achieved everything in our life, whatever we wanted to achieve. It's a
Mhm.
huge prestige. And I'll tell you, even if people have multiple crores in their account, they won't really buy a Rolex watch.
Yeah.
That's how I say cash is not important. For example, if you give them 25 lakhs cash, they will take the bonus and just leave the company. They will not really feel that they belong to the company. They will not really feel that connected. It will not really give them a social status. It will not really make them feel amazing. Now that person told me that now whoever is coming to my family for whole, let's say, 1 to 2 years, the first agenda is to show that watch. If I am going to any relative's place, friend's place, I carry that watch not in on my wristwatch, but in the
Mhm.
briefcase, and I show the watch. So that becomes one of the agenda items whenever we meet with people.
Yeah.
So the appreciation and recognition is important. It is proved again and again and again in many researches, but we do not pay attention because it is not important. I'll just tell you another survey finding and mind blowing fact before I close answering this question, and that is There is a
Mhm.
research by Packard. HP conducted a research in the
Mhm.
it was conducted across 44 countries, and 22,800 people responded to that survey.
Okay.
In that survey, 93% of Gen Zs and 89% of millennials said that they will happily accept a salary cut if it results in a better relationship with their work and the workplace.
Wonderful.
Nine- 93% Gen Zs and 89% millennials said that they will happily accept a salary cut if it results in a better relationship with their work and the workplace. And this relationship is nothing but their feeling about the company and the work which they're doing on Monday morning or every morning when they walk into the place.
Mhm.
So we actually need to realize the importance, and when we realize the importance, of course, we'll start doing it. And when you start doing it, you get the benefit. You said in your question that many Indian CXOs and
Yeah.
founders know about it, but they don't do. So
Yeah.
knowing will not get you results. Doing will get you results. So whichever companies are doing it, they want to do more of it because they're getting results. Whichever companies are not doing it, probably they will take more time to understand because they are focusing only on the urgent things, not on the important things. They're not really thinking long term, they're thinking short term. Maybe they'll keep driving people through KPIs, which is not bad. It's a good
Mhm.
approach. But then, once you have appreciation, then you apply KPI and then you bring in recognition. Then, of course, people become forces.
Mhm.
People run and they'll give you more than your expectations. And that's where the business or the work becomes joy. That's how the cultures transform.
So, means if we talk about what the employer should do, means we talk a lot about the problems. We also talk about the way in which things can be done. So,
Hmm.
what is your suggestion that what can be done, or what can be the approach that management should have so that they can ensure that they are not only giving the world class environment and excellent salary, but they are also giving a recognition or appreciation, or just creating an atmosphere that imply not only see salary as a differentiator, but whenever they are thinking about whether they should continue or not, there should be many other factors. So, what you think can be the possible steps?
See, so far we were talking about what the founders can do, what the companies can do, why are they not doing it. But now we are moving towards the employees.
Yeah.
What can an employee do so that the work culture becomes better, so that his relationship with the work improves, so that he feels good? And that's a great question. So we need to start answering it from the CXO's point of view and founders' point of view first, leaders' point of view first.
Hmm.
The ownership of transforming the culture has to be taken by the leaders. They need to take the ownership. HR is just an enabler. They'll enable the initiatives which the leaders want them to take. So the leaders need to own this. They need to say that, okay, I'll make it happen. So wherever leaders pay attention, whatever leaders acknowledge, of course, tend to grow. And the HR managers also focus more on that. Second thing is about employees. Of course, the appreciation when it becomes part of culture, it doesn't only remain a responsibility of only the leader, only the CXOs, only the founder. It becomes everybody's shared responsibility. We all are responsible. In the beginning, I said that people are not only leaving their bosses and the companies, they are also leaving their colleagues, their subordinates. So uh, each other need people need to appreciate each other more and on daily basis, because it is not practical for a CXO or for a founder to notice every single person's contribution every day and appreciate again and again and again every single time. But we need to make it a culture wide thing, company wide thing. And for that, again, the initiative needs to be started by the leaders. I have few suggestions. For example, one of the things which I say, which is easy to do, is make a WhatsApp group. If your company is, let's say, around 100 to 200 people or maybe smaller, make a WhatsApp group and make it an appreciation group. No feedback allowed in that, no criticism allowed in that, only appreciation will be written. So whenever something pops up in that group, everybody feels happy to read that. You can appreciate an individual, You can put some stories there about individuals making a lot of difference to you and your clients. You
Mhm.
can uh, maybe wish birthdays to people, work anniversaries to people. You can share their contributions and how they made a difference to the organization. Those things in that group. Strictly only appreciation, only recognition, just the praise, not the backlashing or not the feedback and not the corrections. That's one idea. And
Mhm.
initially, I know it's challenging. A lot of people will not participate, but slowly, they'll start participating. If someone's participation is crucial to you, then you as a leader can have a word with that person one to one and try to understand why that person is not participating. What are the mental filters? So once the person agrees one to one, you coach him. Then of course he starts participating, and slowly it becomes a momentum. It may take 6 months time, but then it becomes one platform where positivity flows. Another idea is in the
Mhm.
beginning of the month, let's say first Monday, you hand over them 4 cards, maybe greeting cards,
Mhm.
personalized or personalized, whatever. Just 4 greeting cards to each and every person in your staff member, maybe in your team. If the company is huge, you can just pick up your team and ask them that, folks, we need to appreciate each other's contribution in the team, and let's start writing these thank you cards to all of us.
Mhm.
Whoever you see is doing a great job, just write a letter to him or her. And if you run out of the letters, let's say you are done with the 4 very quickly and you need more, you can ask from the HR manager so and so, and you'll get more. So in the end of the month, you see who has written how many letters. So of course, all people will not complete 4 letters. There will be
Yep.
some who will not even write one. Of course, in the month, every Monday or Sunday, whenever you get an opportunity, need to start promoting people who are writing these letters. But at least, let's say there are 100 people, you distributed 400 letters. I'm sure at least 50 to 100 letters will be given. That's a gain. That's a good start. That's a fantastic momentum building. And then next month, little more. And maybe
Mhm.
you can reward the people who wrote maximum letters. You can also reward the people who received maximum letters. Then it becomes a healthy competition. It becomes a happy thing. It becomes a fun thing. See, I worked with IBM for 9 years. There's so many things in IBM. There were so many things where we used to appreciate each other. There were digital platforms available. There was something called blue coins available. We could give blue coins to people, 5 coins, 10 coins. And when the coins became 100, 200, we used to redeem those coins with some gifts and merchandise items on a platform. So
Mhm.
similarly, you can come up with something, but the first thing is you can start a WhatsApp group. In my company in Muskurado, we call it SIR. SIR is nothing but the acronym with the core values of the company. We we follow 3 core values, which is service, innovation, and respect. We feel that we need to keep the service attitude always for the staff, for the vendors, for the clients, every single person. We feel that we need to keep innovating every single day, keep being creative, how to make processes better, how to make process smaller, how to make service better, how to make products better. And we also feel that we need to respect every single individual on the planet, anybody, not only the customers, the vendors, the staff members, their families, the friends, the person who does the cleaning, collects the garbage. Every single person needs a lot of respect. So we respect. That's how we call it SIR group. The companies can be innovative and make their own groups. These are 2 ways which I recommend to the people. Then, of course, the leaders themselves need to start this and need to become familiar with the ways of recognizing people, and others will try to follow and make it an everyday affair. If you make it annual, it will not work. Let me tell you, it
Mhm.
will
Mhm.
not work. Maximum quarterly. If you make it annual, it really won't work, because you do something amazing on 3rd April, very next month, and you get recognized in the last week of March next year, 2027. Right? Not a good idea. Not at all a good idea. So we need
Yeah.
to quickly do it. I say that recognition loses its value by 50% if it's delayed by 7 days. It loses its value by 90% if it's delayed by 30 days. So why to lose the value? We need to quickly recognize the people. So recognition delayed is recognition denied. That's another saying which I keep saying. So these
Wonderful.
are a couple of ideas through which we can involve all the employees, and they each other can start appreciating each other. And by the way, when they say thank you, it does benefit to the whole atmosphere. When I say thank you to a staff member, there is something which is psychological and medical that happens in my mind. It triggers to four different hormones. It triggers to dopamine. It triggers oxytocin. It triggers serotonin. It also triggers my endorphins. All the four hormones are triggered together, which are feel good hormones, reward chemicals, and positivity hormones. So that way I start feeling good, and it happens in the minds of both the people. Someone who says thank you and someone who receives thank you. And there is another dangerous hormone which is called cortisol. You might have heard about it.
Yeah.
Level of cortisol reduces. When it reduces, the worries reduce. And when the worries reduce, I am free mind and I can give better to my work. Right. So start the culture of saying thank you. Start the culture of appreciating people through writing handwritten notes, and make that WhatsApp group, and maybe give some videos, quick videos about the performance and people doing great job. So that's how we can take some initiatives where again we can involve all the people and we can make it a company wide thing, and we can
Mhm.
remove the dependency from one single leader who carries the responsibility of doing it himself or herself on his or her shoulders, which will not last for long. Everybody needs to do it. Yeah, and handwritten notes, by the way, have huge return. There's a story
Mhm.
about Nicholas Conant, who used to be CEO of Campbell Soup Company in the United States. The company
Mhm.
was very good when he took charge as CEO, and then he started the practice of writing handwritten notes to the employees who were doing great job. And he himself once wrote on X platform that in 10 years he wrote 30,000 letters by his hand.
Wow.
30,000. 3,000 every single year, which means 10 letters every single day, every single working day. So that's how he transformed the culture by writing handwritten letters. And that is not expensive, by the way, very least cost expensive thing,
Yeah.
least cost thing. Yeah. So that also can make a lot of difference, and others also start doing that. Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful, Mukesh. I think we had an excellent discussion, and I think the way you described about the importance of recognition, what are the challenges that industry is facing with respect to that, and what are the different steps, like you talked about making a WhatsApp group, or maybe writing the appreciation letter, or maybe there are different ways while sending a thank you rather than waiting for 1 year to talk about that, doing it immediately, because as we delay the recognition, it loses its value. I'm
Yeah.
sure that
Say
all
one
our listeners, yeah, please,
say
please,
one more statement, which I
please.
keep saying in my sessions. What do you think? Which couple in the world will enjoy a honeymoon 20 years after the wedding as much as they can enjoy in the very first week of the wedding?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no one, no one. In the first week of the wedding, you take your wife to Agra, she'll enjoy more, you will enjoy more. After 20 years, maybe you'll take her to Dubai, still you won't enjoy that much. So recognition has to be instant, it has to be immediate. Similarly, appreciation has to be even more faster.
wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mukesh, for giving your wonderful golden insights about it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure speaking on your platform, sir.